The concept of failing upwards. Most people fail in their life. Well, everybody does. But what you do with the failure really determines how the outcome will be. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the concept of failing upwards. The ups and downs, what you gain from it, what you learn from it, and embracing it. All in this video. So, the concept of failing upwards is honestly in everybody, but not everybody utilizes it. Success versus failure. A lot of people believe that success and failure aren't polar opposites, but I believe differently. To have success, you must have failure. To have winning, you must have losing. Now, nobody wants to fail, but everybody wants to succeed. But I have guaranteed you, everybody has failed in some way or another in life. It's just what you do with those failures that determines how the outcome will be. And to be honest, it's what your concept of failure and succeeding is. What I mean by that is that everything is battles, basically. You have your big battle and your small battles. The small wins count up to something big. And you can't have a big win without having the smaller pieces placed where you need them to be. Learning from your failures is a key component to succeeding, because while you might have failed, you learned a few things while you were doing it. For example, let's say you were trying to learn how to cook something, did not come out how you thought it was. At least you have a base understanding of what you did wrong and how to make the thing that you're seeking out to make. And if you take what you did wrong and learn from it, you failed upwards. Let's say you do it again, you mess up again, you take notes. Oh, I did this wrong. Okay, next time, third time's the charm. You can't succeed if you just give up after the first failure. And just because you didn't make it the way you wanted the first time doesn't mean it's a complete failure. The concept of failure. Now, to get into the real nitty-gritty of it, everybody has a different understanding or concept of failure. I've noticed that. From personal, thought, let's say you enter a contest. All right, you enter the contest, you made a thing, whatever this thing is, you can apply this to whatever you are failing at and you want to succeed at. You enter this contest, right? You put together this complete project. You've gone out public with it and you're ready to represent it to some people to be judged by it. You didn't win. Is that a failure? To some, it would be yes, because you didn't win. But to others, that was their first time even completing a project. That was their first time actually doing a thing and making it work. If they continue at it, they can only go upward with the knowledge that they know. Some people will give up right there. They didn't win. Call it a day. Pack it up. It's all about what you deem what a failure is. And while, like I said, there's a difference between failure and complete failure. That's a small win right there, with you just completing whatever you set out to do, to be honest with you. And now you have tools and knowledge that you didn't have before to only improve upon the thing that you're wanting to succeed at. And, Rome wasn't built in a day. You gotta just take your time and just take it on the chin and be like, okay, I'm ready for next time. When applying this to game development, because I know I have a few other fellow game developers that watch me, you really have to understand this concept of, everybody's concept of failure is different. Let's say you release a game and you sell 10 copies. That might be a success to you. That's your first game. That's a win, bro. Like, you did something 90% of people who set out on this journey never complete. Seriously. And then you'll have somebody who was like, oh, I made a game and only sold 10,000 copies. And that's a failure to them. Like, it really puts in the scope that everybody thinks differently. It's what you choose, it's how you choose to feel about the situation. And even though you may not be able to help how you feel about it, you can always grow and learn from it. And when it comes to anything, and not just game development, like anything you want to do, if you're not a game developer watching this, anything you want to do, it's all about the small wins. From my own personal experience, having to venture on this whole YouTube journey and then game development journey, I've failed many times. I've probably started 5 or 6 games so far, but I know that's actually small, on the smaller side versus some. But it hurts. I know. You have this idea, and time, money, and everything's working against you, and it's rough. From trying to learn the game development from scratch on your own, to if you complete a game, it might not do what you thought, the numbers you thought it would do. It's all about how you take it. And like, as far as, like, I don't know if any of y'all know this, but before I was always interested in game development, but before this was a game development channel and / studio, what I'm trying to make it, I was doing cards, Pokemon, Digimon. A lot of subscribers on his channel come from that era of me. And I realized I realistically couldn't keep up with it, honestly. And the thing I got from it is I got 100+ subscribers from it. And I'm very grateful from that. And I feel like I lost the battle, but I won the war on that one. It's really about what you choose to do with what's left, the pieces. And from personal experience, I promise you, I understand you, and probably everybody that's in this video understands. But there's no better time than now, moving forward. My own personal win is that doing this whole game development channel has actually helped me get better with it, and can't wait to show y'all the progress I made. It's small, but it's a template, and it's something that I can always build off of. And most people don't understand that, is that the failures you have are their steps to lead to success. So my advice to you is to embrace it. Embrace the failure. Learn from it. Even if you don't believe in yourself, I know I got a lot of nerds on this channel. Every character you probably you looked up to as a child has failed. Superman, Goku, Donald Duck, everybody. It's all about what you do moving forward. And there's nothing wrong with failure. It adds to your story. It's just another patch on your vest. There's nothing wrong with accepting it, acknowledging it, and learning from it, and then moving forward from it. Now, I guess my final piece of advice is that, there was a famous quote from Toy Story about falling with style. And that's pretty much what you got to do. It's like falling, but then you act like you're doing push-ups. But seriously, Just believe in what you got and what you can do. And the success will walk right up to you. It'll be finding you when you aren't even looking for it. When you look around, you'll realize you've already succeeded. Thank you. Goodbye.